For a long time, Florida has been an opportunity zone. Our price of homes has been pretty low in this part of the country, but it's no longer the case. Now, Florida is pretty much unaffordable, and it's unaffordable to those who have to have a job and work, locally in a shop, in a place, or even running their own business. Now, a lot of people have been completely priced out of Florida. So how could it possibly be an opportunity zone? And let me tell you why. One of the reasons is because we keep getting hit by hurricanes. And therefore, a lot of homes are going into a distressed situation. And that is an opportunity. Unfortunately, some people really take advantage of those in desperate need, and they go, come out and buy a home for 50, 60 cents on the dollar. And unfortunately, someone loses and someone makes some money. There are opportunities out there, but it's usually after a major storm or just some sort of desperate situation. It's sad, but it does happen. But another thing that's really contributing is that people are leaving Florida. And why are they leaving Florida? Because as you know, everything ebbs and flows. So sometimes it's worse, sometimes it's better, right? And right now we're going through a couple things. First of all, possibly due to climate change, we are getting a lot of hurricanes. And my area, Sarasota and Manatee counties, we got hit by 3 hurricanes back to back. Although we didn't get like a direct hit, only one of them, Hurricane Milton, was a direct hit. We did get a lot of damage, including Hurricane Debbie that caused a lot of water coming down. And then that was at the beginning of August 2024. And then at the end of September 2024, we got hit with Hurricane Helene, and that one caused major flooding on all the keys: Siesta Key, Longboat Key, Lido Key, a lot. Not just here, just the whole state got hit, right? And then it went up and obviously devastated the Carolinas as well, Asheville and so on. But then just recently we got hit direct. I mean, the eye of the storm went right above our area, Sarasota, and that was Hurricane Milton. And from all of that, not only is there a lot of opportunity, because a lot of people didn't have flood insurance, and there's a lot of homes that if you have the cash to buy it and you have the cash to repair it and remediate these problems, this water intrusion, there's opportunity for you to make a lot of money. But I'm questioning this because, I mean, aside from the taking advantage of people, the ethical problem about that, sometimes you're not taking advantage of them, sometimes you're actually helping them, right? But aside from that, are people going to come back? And the short answer is yes, because I'm reminded of Hurricane Ian on September 28th, 2022. And that was one day after my brother's birthday. And I remember that we had so much damage, so much, it was so bad. And then what happened? Like, prices were, once again, price gouging, that was something that happens after every hurricane, it seems. But people did repair everything. And then people did sell homes and they bought homes. And even if your home was flooded, like, hey, that's just part of owning a home. It might have been flooded at some point in the past, right? So I'm kind of thinking, like, are people going to come back? And it seems like the answer is yes. But when you combine that idea that people repair and come back with the idea that our economy is not doing well, our jobs reports are not doing good, and we're just like being told one story by the Fed, but then you look at the reality and you talk to people on the streets and people are suffering financially. They're in the record debt. Like, credit card debt default rates have never been this high. The amount of money people owe on credit cards has never been this high. What about car loans? Car loan debt and car loan delinquencies are also at all-time highs, literally ever. So you take a look at all of this, and then the jobs reports get adjusted to be a very negative number at the end. You kind of just wonder, is it all peachy like the Fed says? I mean, the answer is no, but that's just my opinion, maybe. Maybe it is as peachy as the government says. So are people going to come and buy a second home? Because Florida is very much comprised of second homes. I don't know. I don't think so. Will people be living here always? Yeah. I mean, until the glaciers melt and we're underwater, but like pretty much, yeah. We're gonna be buying and selling homes, for as long. I'll be buying and selling homes for as long as I live here or am not retired yet, right? So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities, and there will always be opportunities, but are prices ready to come down because people are leaving the state? There is a mass exodus, at least that's what they're reporting. I haven't felt it. I'm maybe known one person that's left the state. I mean, really no one. So is there opportunity from that? Is that really going to happen where prices are going to now come down dramatically because of all of our storms, all the insurance claims, the homes got damaged, so less inventory? There's a lot of factors contributing to that, and I think the prices will come down a bit. Yeah. Do I think it's going to be a major economic crash or like housing market crash? No, I don't think it's going to be like that. But do I think that we're going to have a situation where some sellers are going to sell just to sell because they're sick and tired of living in Florida? Yes. Check it out. This area, closed for repair for so dang long. How long? I don't know, but it's been a very long time, right? So let's go check it out. So are people going to be selling? Some will. And overall, I do think that our prices are ready to come down about 10%, okay? Should you wait if you're a buyer for that to happen? Maybe. Depends. I mean, do you have a home? If you don't, then no, don't wait. If you're planning on like selling high and buying low, forget about it. You're probably going to have a simultaneous closing, so you're going to sell at whatever the market is at that point in time. I would just guide you to not make decisions based on speculative investments in a time like this. Speculation is really good when you have a lot of money to basically front the bills for a very long time, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't want to lose your initial invested money just because you couldn't sell the house that you're thinking about buying. All right, I got to get through this here. So now if you can't cover the costs, then don't be speculatively buying, flipping property or anything like that. Don't risk it. Just buy a home, live in it, be done with it. Make sure you can afford the payments, okay? And then, now the next part is about your investors out there. Here's the good news about investors. If the investment makes sense, do it. That's what I say. If the numbers make sense, then just invest and do it. And it's not always easy to find good investments. It's not easy to find, cash flowing properties that are maybe meeting the 1% rule in residential rentals. One thing I've seen quite a bit, and it's backfired quite a bit as well, has been the Airbnb. If it comes to meeting the 1% rule, one way you'll really meet it a lot easier is by doing a short-term rental. But let me assure you of one thing, just from personal experience. If you're going to go buy a property and then have to rely on making it a short-term rental in Airbnb, all you're doing is you're buying yourself a job. That's all you're doing, because Airbnb is a lot more work than annual rentals. Also, property management costs a lot more for short-term rentals. So you might consider doing midterm rentals. So this is a really good popular thing right now. And as people can't afford to live in their own home, maybe there's divorces happening or whatever it is, people are kind of bunking up, renting a room, right? This is usually a midterm rental. People are like just part-time in a place, they'll rent for 5-6 months and then they'll move on and kind of change their setup. Well, midterm rentals are good. That is a good thing. But once again, you're kind of creating yourself a job, okay? You can make more money than annual rentals, but not as much as short-term rentals. But the whole short-term rental situation is getting pretty rough. Let me tell you, of my personal experience. I have a home here in Sarasota. One of the rentals that we own is a short-term rental, and is listed, on the main websites. And one of the problems that we have is when we have hurricanes or red tide. And guess what? We just had 3 hurricanes. Okay, what happens? Well, let me tell you what happened. Over like 2 days, we had 2.5 months of bookings canceled. Now, I got a mortgage, I got taxes, I got insurance. I have an electric bill, a water bill, and a cable TV/internet bill because it's a short-term rental. So all of those bills have to be covered, and there's no bookings, right? Everyone canceled. And then I've talked to 4 other Airbnb investors that I know, and no one is like a huge Airbnb investor. Everyone is like got 1, 2, maybe 3 properties. Guess what? They have some bookings, but they have a lot more availability than they have the bookings. So relying on the short term is not the best idea. I much prefer having annual rental set up, because the annual rental is a lot more predictable. And as long as you're not going to be super expensive on your rent rate, you're just going to have a fair market value, you're going to be able to rent out your property. It's not going to take you more than a month to rent it out if it's ready to go. So that's more predictable and it's safer. But meeting the numbers is the hard part on the annual rentals. I do think we're going to have some listings hitting the market, some prices coming down, which will lead to more affordable rates, your monthly payments, which will lead to a decline in rental rates. And yes, investors will be buying these properties. The regular homeowners will be buying these properties. It's not like we're not going to have any sales, even though we had 3 hurricanes in a row. Now, what are you going to do? Do you have a home that you're renting and you're sick and tired of renting it? Is that what's happening? If that's what's happening, then I would consider looking into the option of purchasing, because even though I'm thinking we're going to have a 5 to 10% price decrease in Florida, I also think that timing the market is a bad strategy. So don't try to time it, because you have no experience timing the market. You're not an expert at that. I'm not an expert at that, right? When COVID happened, I thought prices were going to absolutely fall. Guess what? They doubled, or maybe like 1.5x. So I don't know. All I'm saying is get off your butt, stop renting, go buy something if you need to live somewhere.